We still got
said, hey, you, get off of my cloud.
Hello and welcome to another movie review from MB. I think you're caught out there, John, with the abruptness
it's not on me, Steve.
of that graphic, but we are here, we are live, and we are interactive here on this Friday night. And that can all mean one thing. We're doing another movie review, and tonight
Baldy's back.
we are doing Asuran. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I've heard a few pronunciations, John.
I'm just going to call it Asuran.
Asuran, yeah.
Asuran.
And this is our first look at Dinesh as an actor.
Whoa, I'm getting a phone call from someone.
Saw him dancing. We've already saw a few trailer reactions as well. But this is the first movie that we've actually saw this chap in. And what a way to start, John. And directed by Vetri Maran, who also directed, I can't remember what the other film was called. I think it might have been Vada Chennai from 2018, which by all accounts, John, the poll that we put up about an hour ago on YouTube, a lot of people want us to review this, but we'll have to wait until the polls run its course and then we will know what we're doing next week. But for now, this is the movie we're going to be talking about, John.
Yes.
I watched, I think it was a 2-hour 15-minute version. There is a slightly longer one. I think it might be by 5-10 minutes longer. But this was what was available, obviously, on Amazon Prime Video.
Stephen, you had me concerned. You says people were suggesting there was full-on musical numbers in this, because I do recall a song. But it wasn't a musical.
Yeah.
But there was, I kind of did have musical vibes. It was kind of him wooing his first fiancée.
Yeah.
Buying her the sandals, getting them made, and then it goes back to a sort of musical. So perhaps that's what they're speaking about. And it was a good musical number, to be fair. Stephen, I'll bring the ratings up here.
Yes.
This is how we rate our movies. F is a terrible, very poor movie. I always like to suggest The Fanatic is the best example of a terrible movie. John Travolta in his sort of barren days, when he went off a cliff and became a really poor actor.
Yeah.
Below average, D- through plus. It's a below average movie, below average experience, but not a really bad movie. It's just not quite done enough to get up to good average. C- through plus is an average decent movie. A lot of my movies, favourite movies, and movies I've maybe not favourite, but movies I've enjoyed will slide into here. A lot of MCU movies will slide in here on the higher end. Good, very good, B- through plus. Good, very good watch. Really enjoyable. My all-time favourite movie, Cool Hand Luke, will slip into here. Purely because it's not perfection. Perfection A is reserved for Shawshank, The Godfather. Just the greatest movies ever created in the history of cinema. So that's how we rate our movies on here. Just as a little precursor to the actual review, so you know when we actually grade the movie where this slides in, and our thoughts and our grading. So now that that's done, Stephen, that's out the way, I'm being asked to brief here. I don't want to brief, I want to speak.
Apple, brief.
Apple, you are really excelling yourself here. You're giving me phone calls at 11 o'clock at night and you're asking me to brief. Fuck off, Apple. Back to Asuran, the actual review, Stephen. Initial thoughts going into this movie, I didn't know what to think, because to be quite frank, I'd only reacted to Rowdy Baby featuring Dinesh, the actual song from Marry 2. Wasn't really aware of the guy, but was keen to be acquainted with him in terms of acting, because he is going to be starring in The Grey Man, a Russo brothers movie, alongside the likes of Ryan
He's going
Reynolds,
to be a prominent figure in it as well.
Ryan Gosling, is it? Ryan Gosling and obviously Chris Evans. So he's going to be a prominent figure. I wanted to know about this guy, get an example of his acting ability. You put the poll out and asked people to vote on which one to watch and review first, and they gave us Asuran. And Stephen, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought it was brilliant. Really powerful story being told here about the sort of caste system in India and its inherent faults. The villages, the way they get treated with these big rich figures. Really powerful story about this family splitting, death, chaos. Fucking loved it, Stephen. I thought it was a brilliant movie. What was your thoughts getting into this, Stephen?
Getting into it, John, I didn't have much thoughts, to be honest with you, other than this is what the people wanted us to review, and we obliged. And John, I don't really do too much looking into a movie movie reviews from other channels at the moment, and I think just because I don't really want to be swayed either way, I want to get into the film with fresh eyes and come away from it with my own point of view, and that's what we do. But John, it was worth a watch. It really was, from start to finish. I could not stop watching it. I know that you had to, because time wasn't on your side. You started watching it in the middle of the night, middle of the morning. But I thoroughly enjoyed it from start to finish. I was engrossed from the very beginning. Dinesh, to me, is everything I thought he would be. A fantastic actor with great range. We saw the young version of him in a flashback. We saw the older version of him, very restrained in parts, frustrated the hell out of me at times, but the payoff is the most important part of this movie for me. The justification. John, you talk about messages as well with caste systems. I felt that the other sort of message they were saying was that violence doesn't solve anything. And he does say that little speech at the very end of the movie to his youngest son about, I want you to be educated. That is the best weapon that you can have, is education, knowledge.
And he's right.
It was a great message.
Stephen, it was. That was one of the key themes explored for me. Using your noggin, your brain, as other people like to say. Keeping calm in situations where people are trying to rill you and get one up on you. Don't resort to violence, because he knew all about it, Stephen. And I love the structure of this movie, the way it actually...
It's a very violent movie.
It's a very violent movie, and I love that. There's some moments where I was howling, laughing at the violence, because it was thoroughly deserved. That big shithead with the long hair, who was polishing the sandals at the start, was promoted to accountant, then started throwing his weight about. The way he get took down, kicked, punched, fucking amazing moment in the whole movie for me. Stephen, what do you make about the actual story though, the way it flowed? Do you think it flowed pretty well in terms of editing? Thoughts on the actual writing? For me, I thought the writing was pretty damn good. Really enjoyed the way that the movie was structured. Again, they utilised flashbacks. That's done a lot in Indian cinema, and it's done very well in this movie. There's 2 flashbacks we see present day. They're on the run from someone. We don't know what's going on really. It goes back and tells the story of why they're on the run. Then it goes back further and tells us about Siva. I'm going to bring his name up. Siva Sami. I was about to say that. Just wanted to make sure it was right though. The Dinush character shows you what made him the person he is. Why he's a little bit more restrained, whilst his sons are a little bit more violent and want to deal with things. Loved the structure of this movie. That was all in the writing for me. The actual director structure in it. Thought it flowed brilliantly. Character development was there in an abundance. They go through the whole lexicon of human emotions in this movie. What did you make about the story? So you get a comment here. Hi guys, joining you once again for movie discussion. Well, welcome in.
Welcome into one of that. I think, John, the sort of opening of this film reminded me so much of The Fugitive, on the run. We didn't really get too much of why they were on the run really till we went back a bit. Also, Bruce Lee's Fists of Fury, that restraint in the main character is building up through
he's got
this
a lot
movie.
of restraint, that's for sure.
John, that desert scene, I call it a desert scene, the one where the youngest boy was setting off all the bombs to sort of hold back those the villains, and the dogs.
Those dogs, I need to know what breed those dogs
John,
are.
it was a great scene, and it
breeds.
reminded me so much of Bruce Lee's Fist of Fury, that sort of restraint, and then all hell was unleashed.
Stephen, he comes through the smoke.
It was fantastic. It was a great shot,
unbelievable. Because he's getting tanned by his young son. His young son saying to him, "You're weak." But the family would have been more at peace if you died instead of your son. And John, he was a broken man at that point, but he rises like a phoenix.
I think when you look back at the film as a whole, there is justification there. But Shiva, to me, for the best part of an hour, annoyed the hell out of me. That going down on his knees to the villagers, I was furious with him. Absolutely. So I can understand the oldest son's frustration with his father, and obviously what happens after that's very tragic. I liked the oldest son. I thought he was a really cool character, a great actor as well.
Very
and there seemed to be a romance building up between him and one of the villagers, which never, obviously, nothing came of it, sadly.
He had the shirt on, didn't he? Came back to get his key. Yeah, I'm glad you came back. He has a little look. That was good, Stephen. Sadly not to be built on, because he meets a tragic end.
It was
Stephen, what he says about him lying down at the villagers' feet, I thought that was another interesting aspect of this movie, the actual exploring villager, the villages, these sort of rural villages of India, and the sort of policing by elders approach they have. That's the village elders sit down and they sort of iron it out, and they rule upon things, and they have to abide by that law set down by the villagers. That's very interesting, looking into that sort of concept. You have the police, then you have the actual elders, and the police actually back down to the elders at times. I thought that was interesting, unless they're corrupt as hell like the actual copper is in this. Doesn't want to pursue the young son, the older son I should say, getting decapitated, but quite happy to pursue the father and young son after the rich arseholes get his arm chopped off. Stephen, standout moments in this, I've got a list, quite a sizable list. As you did say, the whole intro, loved it, setting up with a real bang. Quick start to the movie. They're on the run. We've got the sort of police corruption. I don't know if it's the brother of I'm going to bring his name up because actually
it's the brother of the wife.
No,
brother-in-law
no,
you're
I mean
talking about?
the actual villain, Vadakurin.
Oh, right, sorry, yeah.
I don't know how you say it, Vadakurin. I don't know if the guy with the shot standing against the wall with the beard slapping the other guy about, that the copper comes over and speaks to and basically says, look, don't get involved, we'll deal with it. I don't know if that was his son or his younger brother. It's Venkatasan. That was the actual character's name, played by Pavan. I don't know, but I don't know where I was going with that as well. But basically, at the start, him speaking with the coppers and stuff, it establishes early on everyone's against this father and son. Then a real predicament, and they have to get away quick. So I loved that intro. I thought that was a great start of the movie. Also, the flashback as well, the farm, building the whole situation up to the events of current day while they're on the run. Stephen, I thought that was great, the way that they allowed the audience to marinate in the story. The dog, the tragic death with the electric fence, Stephen, I was absolutely gutted.
I knew
that
you
little
would,
dog.
John. I knew you
The
would.
tongue hanging out. I tell you what, that was a great performance from the dog. If that wasn't a mannequin, that dog had the tongue out. So hats off to the dog. That deserves a mention for best performance. The pig scene though, Stephen, I loved it. The scene in the actual field. I loved that whole setup.
Oh, the boar, yeah.
The boar, him lying on the sort of platform. I just love the look of that place. So warm.
Yeah.
Looks incredible, man. They're out there just chilling.
John, that's
the
one thing
electric
about
fence
the
also.
cinematography in this movie was fantastic. Some of those scenes, the locations that they picked was fantastic.
Stephen, you had the wide shots as well.
Yeah, the wide shot, particularly John, when you had the father and youngest son
On the rock.
On the rock,
Oh,
yeah, it was a stunning landscape.
Yeah.
And it shows you how beautiful that country is as well, John. We could only imagine. We've not been to India, but it was absolutely stunning to look at. And
It certainly was.
Hats off to the cinematographer for picking out these wonderful wide shots.
Steve, what did you make about the actual flashback though, establishing, I don't know what the older son that gets killed, I don't know what his name was. I actually thought it was Siva at the start, but it turns out that's Danusha's character's name. But the whole concept of him beating the shit, I love that scene when he beats the shit out of all the sort of goons from your man Vadakarun, and he also, that's what gets him in the pickle. The father has to lie down on the ground and stuff.
The farming part,
yeah, the farming, he beats the shit out of them. They come over.
They're using the machinery, aren't they? Is that right? Yeah,
they're using the well, I think.
Yeah, the well,
try to steal all the water. The mother's standing up to them. I think he hits the mother, and that sets the older son off. He goes and kicks the shit out of them, and then also that sets off all of these things in motion that lead to them on the run. The brother is, or the son, the older son's raging that his father's dropped down to his feet and sort of asked for forgiveness from all of the villagers. He goes, Stephen, I loved it when he slapped the hell out of that guy. He follows him into the toilet. He slaps him over the face with the sandal. You'll not tell anybody anyway that I've slapped you in a sense. Your honour wouldn't stand up to it, pretty much. I love the fact he got his little hit in, but obviously, Stephen, that was absolutely deadly for that character because he is out to get him after that, and his death scene is horrendous.
That is, John.
Horrific. These sort of wire. I'm getting hung. They're stabbing him and stuff like that. They want the body to be unidentifiable. And another thing that interested me, Stephen, if you can't find the head in such a situation in India, they can't identify the body, so the body is forever marked as a Jane Doe, a John Doe, whatever you call it.
Sad. It was really sad.
Mysterious, if you like.
John, that whole scene when the father and mother find the body in the middle of the field as well. Now, we'll talk about visuals in a moment, because that was the only sort of gripe I had with this movie, was some of the CG in it was a bit...
See, I didn't even notice the CG, bud.
John, as I said, I'm nitpicking, it's not something that really ruined the movie for me or anything like that, but the whole beheaded body in the field, the mother's performance,
unbelievable.
She was fantastic, John.
Danush as well, Steve.
I don't know, what was the actress's name?
It was, where is she? It was Manju Warrior, Pajama.
She was fantastic.
I think it was Pajama, because I was listening to the Indian pronunciations. Because, Stephen, it always blows my mind when I watch these movies. I see the name, and it never matches up to the way they're saying it. Their pronunciation's miles off from what I would imagine it would be. I think it's Pachama.
It might depend on the version you're watching as well. Hi, Ruth. Glad that you can join us for this movie review. Asuran. We're only about 10 minutes in, I think.
Got another comment, Stephen, from 2-1 as well.
Yeah.
This is the third collaboration of Danush, Vetraman combination. I still prefer, I can't read that really, Adu Kalam, I think it is the best film they have made yet. Still, Asuran has its moments where I tell you what, I rate it very highly, so I'll be watching that one with bated, is that even the right word, breath? Because I really enjoyed this. I'm rating this highly, I tell you. So if they have done other collaborations and it's even better than this, then my God, we're in for a treat. Other standout moments, Stephen, obviously the death, as I did say, that was tragic, but in the acting, you're absolutely right. The performance from the mother, Pachima, and obviously Danush as well, the performance incredible, really authentic. She faints, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it was amazing performance.
They kind of blurred out the decapitated head.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that, John.
The headless body, if you like.
It felt very fudged. Like that force field they use on the land speeder in A New Hope.
I don't know if it was deliberate to sort of cover up the goriness or whether... but it was.
It could have been, John.
I don't know.
It could have been that. Just it was bad enough. It was really bad enough watching that scene. It was very hard to watch. John,
Stephen, it's a real sucker punch as well, because it happens very quickly after the older boy, the older son, slaps the sort of villain of the piece about, and I'm like, yes, he's slapped him about. He's got one over him, and then he dies pretty quickly after. I'm like, Jesus Christ!
Pretty urgent, John. The other moment was probably the sandals scene in the flashback.
Oh, Stephen, that's probably my standout moment in the whole movie.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Because he's such an absolute cunt. I don't know what the guy's name is. I'm going to bring up IMDb
John,
and see if I
hated him. I hated it. I mean, what a chauvinist.
Is it Nitish Veera?
I don't know.
Pandian?
It was just...
I don't know if it is.
It was just... he had it coming to him. He really did have it coming. To parade her through that village, with the sandals on her head and pushing her about. It was the force of the kicks in her back, which really enraged me.
Stephen, watching it, I'm like, this guy's going to die. He is going to die.
Yeah,
I knew for a fact that this guy was getting his comeuppance.
This is the payoff, John. This is the payoff where we saw the Danush character for a good hour, frustrating the hell out of us and really getting frustrated by the way he was behaving. An absolute coward in some sense. It was restraint. We understand that now when we get to this scene.
Because he's been there, Stephen, and he's seen the consequences for violence.
Yeah.
That it brings nothing in the end. All it brings is misery and even more violence on the other side of things. Both sides sort of have their issues. There's violence ultimately ensues if you hit first. So the Danush character, I love the fact that we flash back and watch this guy from his youth, because Stephen, the difference between old Sivasami and young Shivasami is unreal. The hair is different. I loved his haircut when he was older, incidentally, and the moustache, the grey flecks. Looks like a totally different guy. The hair's up. So much younger, fresher looking.
Posture as well, John. Everything about
Because he ain't old, Stephen. Danush ain't old. I mean, how old is he? 1983, he's fucking 37. 30, coming up for 38.
Yep.
So he ain't old. He's a young guy. So for him to age up with the grey, it was unreal.
A guy in his mid-50s.
Yeah.
That's what it was like.
And he actually looked like it. He was bent over. He was kind of slow, ponderous, having to take a break.
He had
with
a
the
kind
heat.
of a limp as well.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
And you ultimately understand why that is, because he's been around. Stephen, we've got a couple more comments. This is the fourth collaboration of Danush. I think I read that already. No, the fourth collaboration. Still prefer Radicalum. So they've had another one. You guys like the movie. I did like the movie a lot. Yeah, I thought it was really, really, really good. Great story, very unique.
It was. Sort
of story of caste system, this village life, and just vengeance, and why vengeance ultimately isn't the best thing. Sometimes education is better than vengeance. I really enjoyed it. What was this, Stephen? Nitish Veera, who played as Pandya, just passed away recently due to COVID. Well, I'm sad to hear that.
John, I think I read that. I think when I was looking for news items, I'm pretty sure I read that about that. That's very sad.
That is sad.
Yeah.
It's took a lot of people. 3 million people, I think, worldwide. So a lot of people have died to it. Really sad to hear. Don't know how old she was. I'm going to have to look into that. But really, shame to hear that. Actually, I don't know what character she played. Nitish Veera, who played, is this the one I was looking at? Oh,
Nitish Veera's. That's
it was the guy actually I was talking about. Was that the guy who played the person that gets slapped about? Yeah. I don't know if it was him, Stephen. I'm actually looking at it as well. That looks like the guy who Danush kicks about and slaps. The guy with the long hair.
He played Pandyan. Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's passed. He was only Stephen. He was your age.
Yeah.
Same age as you, man.
1976.
45.
So sad. Yeah.
Unbelievable. That's young. I can't believe that. That's unreal. That's took the actual life out of me. That.
Yeah.
I think I do recall reading about that as well. Yeah. Yeah. That's a shame.
Yeah.
Try to get back to this movie now, reviewing this.
Yeah.
After actually hearing that news, that's shocking. Stephen Will's performance in this, if it is indeed him, was very good as a sort of antagonist in the flashback, because I hated the guy. And I think that speaks volumes about the performance. I don't know if it is him. I may be wrong. It might not even be him. But I think it is. I think I remember the face. Stephen, I loved the moment he kicked shit out of him, though, in that village. I thought it was brilliant. Just unreal. So you're going to beat everyone up who wears sandals. Beat me up. And he's slapping him about. I was howling at it, laughing.
It was a great scene.
Because I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And it's just the force. He's sitting having the sort of drink and eating with his mugs. his friends, and he just boots him out of this sort of area.
That's a slow-mo moment, isn't it? He's in the air flying.
I just loved it, Steen, because as you says, Danush is set up as this sort of cowardly figure. His sons are outdoing him. They've got more fight in them than him. And then when you flash back and he's telling this story to his younger son, sort of teaching him a lesson, you see how he was when he was younger. I'm like, fucking yes,
John,
this guy's
I think
unreal.
it was important that they built the mother character up to be a strong figure as well. And that way you wouldn't sense where the younger, the sons get it from. It could be the mother. You know, she's quite feisty. It could be her. So I felt that was very clever that they portrayed the mother as a strong figure anyway, rather than, you know, just being a wallflower. And then you're thinking, well, where did they get that vengeance? Where did they get that anger? And,
she was very forward as well. She basically decided, Siva's going to be marrying me. Yeah, you will marry me and you'll give me kids, pretty much. I think she says that at one point. I'll be here when you're ready. So I'm like, very forward. You know what you want, and that's absolutely fine. Stephen, what I loved as well structurally with this movie was that even in the flashbacks, the pace was relentless. When we flash back to how it built up, it was pretty quick. Yeah. Building up to also the death of the son, and then him killing the sort of Vadikaran figure. And then when we flash back to Danush, it's pretty quick as well. He meets this girl, fiancée, she gets killed. It's a horrendous scene, by the way. Yeah. When the actual village gets burnt down with that shithead. Yeah. And also he gets his vengeance on him again, and he kills him, Steve. He chops his arm off. He's holding his arm and trying to put it together. It's not going to work.
It was very graphic, I know.
It's not going to work. You can try and put it back together, mate, but your arm's gone.
You're not made of Lego. John, the thing is, up to that point, just after, you know, the Danush character takes out those goons with the dogs, that's the first moment we get to see him in action. There's still a good 50 minutes of this film to go, and I'm thinking, where's it going? You know, he seems to have proved his worth. We know he can hold his own. Bit late now, your oldest son's dead, but where's this going? And then he's down at the waterside washing himself up, and that's when the flashback takes place. And I think it picks up pace after that, John. It picks up a better pace, I think.
Well, Steve, because you're building into the sort of third act at that point, even when you come back to present day, it has to come to a head. So that's why it builds up. Stephen, the dogs as well, man. I keep going on about these dogs, but I just love those dogs. So lean and narrow snouted, like a leaner version of my dog. Just so vicious as well. Well up for it.
Kind of cross between a Labrador and a Greyhound.
Yeah, well up for it, Stephen. I'd love to know what breed those dogs are. I'm going to look into it because they were incredible. Absolutely loved them in this movie. And the actual kids, the young son's dog, it goes to him. He's like, oh, you've tracked me from all this way. No, they're actually using him to out you little shit. So stay with your father. Stephen, that scene was brilliant. I love the fight scene with the father, incidentally. There's multiple prominent fight scenes, but the older version of the Danush character has two prominent fight scenes in the current day. The one with the dogs rushing him, and that big sort of guy that's been tracking them. He beats the shit out of him. He has him almost like Bruce Lee, Stephen. But obviously Bruce Lee has to do in the guy in Enter the Dragon, because he just won't give up. But he has him holding him, and he's saying, I've got you here, bitch, but I'm going to let you live. But if you come for me again, then every one of you are getting wiped out. I think he says that to his son. And it may be inside. I love that, Stephen. It was in his head as he's walking away with his son. You can hear his thoughts. I love the fact you could hear. I thought that was nice. I don't know why.
That was good.
Also the ending as well, Stephen, where the son is kidnapped. They sort of come to this deal using the village elders.
I didn't understand that part, because he was going for a walk, and then the next thing we know, he's been captured. I don't know if you picked up that as well,
I didn't know, actually.
I felt there's quite a cut there. I don't know if I've missed a scene.
Maybe.
I just felt he was going out for a walk. I think one of the elders had said to him, where are you going? He says, I'm going for a walk, and then the next thing we know, he's been kidnapped. I'm like, what happened? Well,
Stephen, again, it sort of shone a light on the sort of the village elder thing again. This system they've got in these villages where the elder figures seem to hold the power, and they can come to deals and circumvent the law in some cases. But I think the father actually took the hit for the son. He was going to go to jail before they actually kidnap the youngest son, Chadabram, I think it is. I can't even say the name, Chadabram. That's my best pronunciation. They kidnap him, they start beating him. Stephen, that scene was unreal. When he walks in and he's just battering the shit out of them. Again, a little bit far-fetched. He does take a few stabs, and it's like, that would kill you, my friend. Maybe not the one in the shoulder, but back. The one to the sort of
side,
the side, that's puncturing your intestines. You're dying from that. That is sepsis all over it.
I
But
think
he survives and it's
gets
fine.
the dad and he gets the boy.
He gets the dad, he gets the boy.
Stabs both of them.
And then also he gets up and stabs him in the back, and that's it. And Stephen, I love the fact he was going after the sort of, I'll bring his name up again because I'll keep forgetting the name. It's absolutely inevitable. But the I can't even say it, Venkatesan character. He goes for him, and I love the fact he went for him. He was sort of orchestrating things.
Yeah.
I'll do this, I'll do that, but get this guy to track him. Get, I think, his uncle figure to do it. And then he sort of comes in, and I think he has a sly hit at him, maybe kicks him in the back, and he goes for him. I'm like, yes, this fucker has finally got his comeuppance. This little bitch,
Yeah.
a rich boy sitting in the shadows, letting it all play out in front of him. He finally gets his comeuppance. I thought that scene was brilliant, man.
Yeah.
And as you did say, the actual message he gives to his son, that I want you to be educated, because that's the best way to win, to be educated, to rise out of these sort of poverty line, if you like. And it's true. It's absolutely bang on. And Stephen, the actual slow-mo shots at the end, I don't know if you picked up on this, I did right away, because I'm obsessed with my slow-mos in the actual action sequences as well. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's sort of walking. Stephen, the fight on the sand, I was just imagining how hard it would be to run on sand. You know what it's like running in sand, taking on 6-7 guys whilst running about in sand. My God, I'd been exhausted.
Age as well.
It's a good age. He must have been absolutely exhausted.
Yeah.
But getting back to what I was speaking about, the actual slow-mo shots of them in the rain at the end, he's speaking to his son.
Yeah.
One of the final shots.
That was a good
slow-mo
shot,
in the rain. I thought, that's just stunning.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible shot.
It was.
Have you got any more standout moments, Stephen? I says I can't stand this little class betraying weasel. That was the guy that obviously burns down the village and gets the shit kicked out of him for the sandal thing. I just thought he was a despicable figure.
No, I think
he's sort of licking the boss. I'll do anything for you, boss.
I know.
And then he gets the shot.
It was like the Samuel Jackson character in
Django
Unchained. Yeah,
exactly. A sellout.
Yeah, an absolute. Yeah.
Another moment I liked. Can you give me a rupee? No. What do you mean? You're the accountant. Just put it through the company. Give me a rupee. No, he slaps him. I'm like, fucking yes. Bitch, I don't like you. And I was justified not liking him. Just loved the violence, Steve. There was just amazing violence in this movie, man. Machetes all over the shop. And just a great journey. Yeah, spears. And a great journey with the father and the son. Just imbuing this little kid with so much knowledge and wisdom.
Because there was a point where I thought perhaps that the younger son felt the father had more respect for the older son, and if that was there, it wasn't at the end of the movie because of the journey both of them went on. Yeah. And the younger son understanding, what his father went through, when he was younger, and I think they handled that nicely. There was there was bickering between both of them, and there was a kind of embarrassment factor as well from the father. I think he was a bit embarrassed by the actions of his son as well. Yeah, we saw that when he was carrying the explosives, and he made a comment about you do anything your mother tells you or something like that, when he's got to hold the explosives up over the water. And then we see it again when he can't find his son, and then he sees the smoke signals, he's cooking something, and he berates him once again. But by the end of by the end of the movie,
you can't go a day without eating.
Yeah. I can't go a day without eating.
So I'd be crying.
I don't hold that against them.
Steve, I like the line, man, he's so violent, talking about his father. And the actual mother replies, where do you think you got your determination and guts from? Just loved that. They've been slagging this father off the whole movie, and it becomes clear that this guy's an absolute unit. Yeah. A fighting machine.
It's just sad that the
just been broken.
Oldest son didn't get to see that. Yeah. But it had to take his
to bring it back.
Yeah.
Steve, get another comment from two. I can't even read it. 2-1, I think it is. Guys, recommending you watch. Can you read that, Steve? There's a wide in front of it.
Pudapetai, another movie which has Dhanush and Nitish Veera playing the roles together. Yep, certainly file them our way because we're going to be getting into probably.
Very, very impressed with Dhanush. Yeah. Have to say, very, very impressed with this guy. Just unbelievable performance in this movie. So I'm absolutely desperate to go down and watch more of this guy's movies. Stephen, that'll get us on to performances. Who was your standout performer in this? For me, it is absolutely Dhanush. Yeah. He's playing a borderline two characters in this. The younger version of Siva Sami and obviously the older version. And just an incredible performance. There's real emotive moments in there. Triumphant moments. Dark, deep moments where his fiance's burnt to a crisp. Yeah. He's having to speak to her. There's really just a multi-layered performance. Yeah. Unbelievable, man.
I think so, John. Everyone else was more supporting in this film than anything.
Pachima was the Manju warrior.
Yeah, she was fantastic for that particular scene. Obviously, the son's death scene.
Yeah.
The younger boy as well, the youngest son.
He Ken Karunas.
He held his own as well, but for me it is Dinesh. It's a Dinesh movie, John. So.
Stephen, it is, man. I mean, there is other performances in there. The uncle was okay. I think it may have been. I actually don't know who the uncle was. I'm trying to find his name here.
The uncle.
He was kind of baldy, wasn't he?
The Shiva's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
That was Pasipathy.
Yeah, I thought that Pasipathy. I'm looking at that.
Murugesan.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but I couldn't see uncle.
That wrong. Yeah.
He was okay as well. He had his moments, but for me, throughout, it really was the journey of Dinesh, his character. Him going from this vibrant, youthful guy who was standing up, trying to get change, a rebel, trying to take back the land for the poorest, fighting up against these sort of land stealers, the richer caste, if you like. He goes from that, he's a broken, beaten guy in the middle act of this movie, then he regains his confidence. So obviously in tragedy, with his oldest son dying, biting the bullet, if you'd like, in the most horrific way. So for me, it was his journey, just unreal. The development was there. Just a brilliant performance. Really, really, really impressed with that guy and his acting. Technical stuff, Stephen. Cinematography, thought it was brilliant. I really did enjoy some of the wide shots, the way it tracked. Some drone shots in there as well coming out. Obviously when they're trying to get the boar, the pig. Lovely tracking sort of drone shots. Capturing them running through the field. Also, the pig must have been CG. There's no way that was real. I hope it wasn't, because they're about half a ton in weight. Those things, dangerous. Just thought it was really well shot in the main. This movie really captured the sort of frenesity, the tension when they were on the run. Can't really remember the score, to be honest with you. A little bit unmemorable for me, so I can't speak about that. The editing I thought was sublime. It's a 2 hour and 15 minute movie. The one I watched wouldn't have get rid of any scenes. Thought it just flowed perfectly. Just really taut. Really tight movie.
John Solomon Gibson has put a comment in saying some details missing from books, like how the kid got kidnapped. Exactly. I didn't understand that.
So it was based on a book, was it? It was actually adapted off a book. That's interesting.
Climax and character of mother written as two characters in book, mother and aunt. Didn't know that either. But I mean, I'd probably be very interested in reading the actual book then.
Is that the fiancée? It was burnt in the middle. Was she written as the same character as the mother? Because I found it strange. Well, it's not so strange. It sort of builds the tragedy of the character. He meets a woman, he's to marry her, loves her, and then she gets killed, and he also falls in love with someone else. That's absolutely fine. Yeah. But I thought that was strange. When I actually seen her, I thought it was a younger version of the mother in the present day.
And
then she
dies. Yeah, I know. Then when she died, then you realise, well, it's not the same person or the same character then.
Yeah. Written as two characters in the book, mother and aunt. Well, maybe it wasn't then. Maybe it wasn't the same one. It was probably just two combining. That's fine. Stephen, that was another scene I enjoyed actually. The old guy saving the mother and the daughter, letting them get out and actually taking a beating and getting hospitalised for it. I thought that was good. Just again, those little thatch houses, I thought they were incredible. I don't know if you've got anything else to say, Stephen.
John,
go on to overall thoughts.
Yeah, I think we should. I think
overall thoughts and then rate it.
For me, John, it's a movie I'm going to go back and watch at some point. I think
it's rewatchable.
A lot of rewatchability. It's a well-written movie. The characters' development as well throughout. All the characters in the movie was fantastic. The journey that the father and the youngest son went on was amazing. The tragedy in the oldest son was, for the actions of Dinesh's character was justified, I felt. Not I'm saying that I'm advocating violence or anything like that. Certainly that character's not.
Oh, but Steve, he deserved it.
I think just the payoff, John. I think you could understand the character a bit more. That's what I'm trying to say.
Killed his fiancée.
Yeah.
Tortured her. Yeah. Just a fucker. And so he deserved to be killed.
I just felt it was a great drama action film. I think there was a lot of drama in this film as well. And Dinesh, this is our introduction to this guy as an actor. It's a great film to start off with, John. And we're getting great recommendations for other films that people are saying, are a lot better than this one. So bring it on, that's what I say.
Stephen, look, I really enjoyed it. I can't really add much more than what you added, other than to say that again, there's little satirical things going on. The subject of the land being stolen from the poorest, I'm conning them out of it, giving them the bare minimum of, I don't know, money for their land. That fight between the poor caste and these sort of rich caste, trying to grab the land back, stealing their water and stuff like that. Farmers being treated like crap in a sense. I like that, the way they explore that again. That's something that seems to be a constant theme in Indian movies. They're always looking at societal ills, satirical things going on, and they implement it into the story very well. Really enjoyed it, man. Really enjoyed the performance of Dinesh. I thought it was a great little story. Taut, as I did say, love the flashback sequences. Oh no, I really, really, really enjoyed it. 2 hours that I was glad that I gave to this movie, because that's what you're always doing for me when you're watching movies.
Yeah.
You're giving a little bit of yourself to it, and it's always nice when you enjoy it. And I enjoyed this a lot.
Solomon Gibson has said, my favourite from Vetu Moran and Dinush is Vada Chennai.
Well,
it's
fun
on a
enough.
poll, so it's on a poll, so if you want to go over to the poll on our community tab, it's there. We've picked 4 films that you can
We're
go.
speaking about Vada Chennai.
Yeah, you
We
know, and
will.
I think this is the 4 films that we're considering, so it's in your hands, guys.
Stephen, what are you rating this?
I'm rating this a B, John.
Yes, so am I. I was toying with giving it a B+.
Yeah.
I really was close to giving it a B+. I don't know why I didn't, but I'm giving it a B, and I think that's acceptable, Stephen. I think that's a good rating. A very good movie. Really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Not perfection, of course, because there's very few movies that are perfection, but very, very, very good start to watching Dinush, and I'm looking forward to getting down the rabbit hole with this guy, like I did with Telepathy, and to obviously Vijay Sethupathi to an extent. For me, Stephen, the best performance I've seen, I'm going off on a tangent here briefly before we wrap this up, but for me, the best performance I've still seen to date in an Indian movie is Vijay Sethupathi in Super Deluxe. I just cannot believe the performance of that guy in that movie. Just unbelievable, mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Danush was very good in this, and obviously Amir Khan and Dangal. In Telepathy and Master, I've seen some good performances, but for me, Vijay Sethupathi in Super Deluxe is still the one to beat.
Yeah.
So give us movies that are going to beat that performance, please. 'Cause I want to see performances like that.
John, Ruth has said, I'm so impressed, guys. You have really understood the tone and imagery of the movie. Well, that's down to the great storytelling. That's down to the great writing as well.
Yes.
And I think the translation is very easy to understand.
That's the key, Stephen, isn't it? The actual closed captions.
Yeah.
The giving them
For us,
and translating well so
Yeah.
that we understand what the hell's going on. They're always on point, and that's an art in itself, actually, perfectly translating it, because I'm sure there's little things that don't quite make the jump to English quite
John,
so well.
I'll be honest with you.
It connects different
I
parts
think
of the world,
even if you
Stephen.
took the closed captions away, I would have understood the story to a
Yeah,
point
you would have, yeah.
just through the visuals.
But it's great that you can connect
Yeah.
with a totally different world in terms of film.
That's,
And I've really, really enjoyed this journey. I'm so grateful to the guy that actually recommended KGF and reacting to the trailer, because we have just...
that's only about a month away or something like that.
is it coming out soon?
I think so, yeah. We've not had a full trailer yet. Well,
No.
they said that one was a teaser trailer, then it turned into a full trailer because I think something was leaked. So I don't know if we'll get another one or not. But I don't care because the film's coming out soon.
It's
anyway.
Yash, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yash and KGF. I'm looking forward to KGF as well. That's a bit of... How shall I put it? I don't know. Just absolute suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
Just getting in and just these lighting cigarettes off of the machine guns and stuff. Just brilliant.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to see this guy rising. He was the sort of rising figure. Now he's the main man, isn't he? He's the main sort of gangster. Cannot wait to see it. We'll definitely get round to watching Vada Chennai as well. Really looking forward to watching this guy's movies. I think he's brilliant, and I really am excited to see him in Greyman now.
Yeah.
Now that I know what he's all about, he is dynamite. He will not look out of sorts with Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans. I actually think he's a better actor than Chris Evans. There you go, because Chris Evans isn't that great an actor. He played Captain America well, but as an actor, he's not that fucking good. Let's be honest. He may prove me wrong in years to come. I don't know. But look, that's going to round up our review of Asuran. I don't know how you say it. I should. Because I'm going to go back to it again. I'm fucking 2% Indian and South Indian, Sri Lankan. That's why I love my kotus. That was the thing I was talking about the other night. Kotus, parathas as they call them in India. Just a mixture of all sorts going on in there. Fucking incredible. I need to go to Sri Lanka. I must. But I should know how to pronounce it. That's what I'm saying, but I don't. I'm not fucking Indian. What am I talking about? But look, that's going to round up the review anyway. What was your thoughts on Asuran? What was your thoughts on Danush? On the Tish as well, sadly no longer with us. Really sad to hear that. You can comment below if you've got anything to say about that. You can also like the video. If you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Hit the follow button over on Twitch if you want to see more content like this in the future, and you will get it. And until then, guys, I'm done. Before I go off a cliff, bye-bye. We've got a comment from Solomon, but I'll answer it in the actual end screen. What do you guys know about Greyman? Any updates? Just that Danush is in there.
Mm-hmm.
And there is another Indian actress in the movie as well.
Yeah.
And that it's a sort of fugitive kind of movie where a former CIA agent tracks a new CIA agent.
And Asuran means demon.
Asuran.
Thanks, Ruth.
That
Thanks
makes
for
sense, because when he's battering the fuck out of people and stabbing them and chopping arms off, it's doing a little song about Asuran. So it makes sense. He is a demon in that moment. The guy is killing, and I loved it. It was great. Bye bye, guys. Bye.